Today on the spot, Sean tries to break his junk in our Skate 3 demo. Sophia Tong brings an interview for Fallout New Vegas and a preview of Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker on the PSP. Peter Molyneux looks back on Fable 2 with GameSpot UK, and we check in on the new releases hitting store shelves this week. Today on the spot.
That's right, folks. Welcome to T-Shirt Tuesday here on Today on the Spot. I'm your host, Chris Waters. I'm joined by Sean McInnes, and previous to you joining us here, we've been debating over which of these T-shirts we want to take home and not give away. The end of the conversation is we don't get to keep any of them. We're giving them all to you folks. But Sean, these are from Bethesda. We got Rage. We have Hunted, Brink, Fallout New Vegas.
There's a sweet Fallout New Vegas shirt with the California state flag with a two-headed bear, which is amazing, and I'm pretty sure they should change the actual flag to that.
I think we can get a petition going. This E3, we can get some momentum. Presumably we'll see some of it then, but we're going to get a great look at Fallout New Vegas today on the show. Sophia Tong's got the news from Bethesda Gamers Day on that. But before we get there, it's over to the news desk for the latest headlines.
Hey everybody, it's your GameSpot news update for Tuesday, May 4th. I'm Tor Thorson. Many of PC gamers' summer plans were ruined yesterday when Blizzard Entertainment announced the long-awaited launch date for its real-time strategy game, StarCraft II: Wings of Liberty. The first installment in a three-part sequel will launch worldwide, China accepted, on July 27th for the PC and Mac, and will retail for $60 in the US. The game will also be available in a deluxe $100 collector's edition that will include an art book and flash drive preloaded with the original StarCraft and its Brood War expansion. StarCraft II: Wings of Liberty will focus on the Human Terran faction with a 29-mission single-player campaign. However, the multiplayer component will also let gamers wage interstellar real-time strategy warfare as the Hive-like Zerg and the technologically advanced Protoss factions. Two sequels focusing on those factions, Legacy of the Void and Heart of the Swarm, are also in development. Those few US gamers who haven't bought a Wii yet now have a choice of color. This week, Nintendo announced that its wildly popular console will be available in black as well as white starting on May 9th. Whoopity-doo, said gamers in Japan and Europe, where the onyx-colored version of the console has been available for months. To sweeten the deal, Nintendo will bundle all Wii consoles with the Wii Motion Plus add-on and Wii Sports Resort. The extra $50 of goodies won't raise the $200 price of the Wii, which will still come with Wii Sports and a Wii Remote and Nunchuck packed in. But hey, at least your Wii will match the rest of your AV system now, right? Huh? Well, that's it, your GameSpot news update for May 4th. For more headlines, head on over to news.gamespot.com.
Up next, it's a look at this week's new releases, which include a game that, despite the packaging, I'm told is not actually called Iron 2 Man. Go figure.
Final project from the studio formerly known as Secret Level will receive a posthumous release this week. Arriving in stores May 4th, Iron Man 2 won't be a note-for-note adaptation of the big-budget feature film launching just a few days later. While the game takes a visual style from the big screen, it will feature more nods to the character's comic book roots, including an original story involving the Crimson Dynamo, Ultimo, and the bucket-headed criminal organization AIM. The week's only other multi-platform launch won't actually be appearing in stores at all, as Activision and Infinity Ward's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Stimulus Package add-on arrives on the PlayStation 3 and PC. Released on the Xbox 360 at the end of March, the $15 Stimulus Package was an instant success, as gamers downloaded it more than 2.5 million times in its debut week. The add-on from controversy-plagued Infinity Ward includes 3 new multiplayer maps and 2 updated arenas from the original Modern Warfare. Handheld fans are receiving a handful of notable new releases for the week as well. PSP gamers hungry for some team-based multiplayer action can pick up Fat Princess Fistful of Cake, while DS owners have the option of South Peak's adventure horror game Dementium 2, or Nintendo's decidedly less scary puzzler, Picross 3D. For further details on the week's games, visit GameSpot's new releases page. Release dates are based on retailer listings and are subject to change.
Chris, while we're checking out those new releases, I took the time to think of a couple names for both these bear heads.
Okay.
The one on the top I call Huggin', the one on the bottom I call Kissin'.
Really?
You think that fits or not?
I don't think it really fits with the whole, beaten down post-apocalyptic, fierce two-headed bear mauling image that whole thing evokes.
Well, Chris, I guess we're just going to have to agree to disagree. We'll see if they have that bit of information in this Fallout New Vegas interview. Let's take it away.
I'm here with Josh Scheuer from Obsidian, and he's the project director on Fallout New Vegas. Welcome.
Hi.
All right, so tell us about Fallout New Vegas.
Well, Fallout New Vegas is a continuation of the Fallout franchise. It is not a sequel to Fallout 3, but it's a standalone product. And in a lot of ways, it is continuing lore that was established in the first two games on the West Coast in California. So groups like the New California Republic and like the Brotherhood of Steel are making a comeback, but this time on the West Coast.
So why did you guys decide to go with Vegas in particular?
I think we decided that Vegas was a very colorful city. It was a very interesting city. It's someplace that had not been explored, but we came very close to it in the previous games. Fallout 1 and 2 took place in California and parts of Nevada, so it seemed like it would be a cool place to extend the old stories, but make it feel fresh.
And the demo you guys had earlier, you guys walked us through the beginning, like character customization. Can you kind of walk us through that right now?
The beginning of Fallout 3 starts you out in a vault being born. The character creation process is basically you growing up and growing to adolescence. So we decided to do a reversal of that in Fallout New Vegas. The beginning of the game, you are shot in the head twice for a package that you're carrying. You're a courier, and then you're left in a shallow grave to die. And then you wake up in the town of Good Springs, miraculously surviving. The whole process of character creation is really your rehabilitation. So the local doctor in this ghost town, Doc Mitchell, asks you your name, asks you things about yourself, has you use a vigor tester machine, which is kind of like the way to determine your special stats: strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, and luck. And then you do like a question and answer session that is a personality test that determines the skills for you. So really, it's we use the rehabilitation process as a way to define your character. Then when you go outside into the town of Good Springs, that's where all of your tutorials are. But we knew from the beginning, because a lot of people who played Fallout 3 would be familiar with a lot of the core gameplay aspects, if they just want to take off into the desert, they're free to do so. But we have all the tutorial opportunities right in the first location.
So a lot of references to the original, like the first two Fallouts, more so than Fallout 3, because a lot of members on the team have worked on the previous two.
Yeah, because for a lot of us, we've either worked on Fallout games before, or it's been our dream to work on a Fallout game for a long time. So we, coming from the sort of Black Isle tradition, we wanted to bring back some of the things that Black Isle created, like the New California Republic, like the Followers of the Apocalypse. And we want to make that stuff accessible to people that have never played the game before, but for people that played the first two games, we're hoping that there's a lot of material for them that they'll be like, oh, cool. Like I always wondered what happened to the gun runners. I always wondered what happened to the Followers of the Apocalypse. So.
All right, great. So when is the game coming out, and on what platforms?
The game is coming out in fall of this year, 2010, and it should be coming out on PC, PS3, and Xbox 360.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And that was our first look at Fallout New Vegas. Be sure to check back on GameSpot.com for more coverage.
So those of you astute viewers who were paying attention last week might remember that Sean likes to do two things when he plays skate games. Try to hit his junk real bad, or try to judo kick pedestrians in the face. That's his new thing in Skate 3. Up next, we got the demo with none other than Sean McInnes himself. Sean, do you want to give us a preview, or do you just want to let us behold whatever it is we're going to behold?
If I give it away, it's just going to destroy the magic. Hint, it involves a lot of junk ruining. Let's check it out.
Here we go. It's our Skate 3 demo starring me and Sean. Mostly Sean. He's got the controller. He's got the knowledge in his brain. Sean, Skate 3, let's go.
Skate 3, that's right, Chris. We pulled a Mr. Rogers and changed into our Skate 3 clothing right now.
It's true, yes.
So what we're going to do is have a look at Skate 3. This is a game that's coming out Tuesday. As the name would imply, it's the third entry in the Skate franchise. Some of the big new things this year are a full 4-player online co-op.
No kidding.
Yeah, unfortunately we can't demo that right now because we only have the one copy of the game. So we're going to check out some of the other new features, and there are quite a few in there. One of my very favorite ones, that could have been better.
Could have been better, not your best work.
One of my favorite ones is the ability to just stop out of the blue. You pull up this little menu here, and you can just totally drop objects wherever you want. Last year, it was a matter of you had to find an object and you had to drag it and push around stuff. This way, you don't have to worry about that. You have the invisible hand of some all-knowing god there, just dropping stuff wherever you want it.
You just conjure it fully formed out of your mind.
Yeah, totally. And you can just, within the world that they designed, you can just put stuff wherever you want, or you can just create a brand new skate park from scratch.
Altogether.
Yeah, which is pretty awesome.
So does that happen in like, they have sort of a preset empty arena area and
yeah,
then you fill it up?
Yeah, exactly. So you can like choose from different areas that you want to create a park. You can either make one that's already got sort of a template with stuff already on it, or you can just make one entirely from scratch and just use your own imagination.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
or you could really just pick any spot in the city and park it up real quick.
Oh yeah,
by
totally.
throwing down all sorts of junk, but that's not going to be persistent, right?
No. It'll eventually go back. So that's one of the cool new features in the game. The other part is that it's an entirely new city. This is called Port Carverton. It's a city that they built entirely from scratch. Skate 2 sort of used a modified version of the original city, sort of post. Yeah, man, you got to watch out for those things.
They parking meters. Yeah, it was
bad.
San Vanelona post-earthquake or something, right?
Post-disaster,
Yeah.
right. So right now, let's go ahead and pull up a challenge. Let's try some Hall of Meat. These are among my favorite types of games. Body bag tag. That one
Because
looks
as you
good.
might have guessed, folks, these just involve breaking yourself as hard as you can.
Let's see.
Or actually, okay, so you also have to knock down 2 commuters.
Yeah, so this is one, they pretty much designed this challenge just for me.
Yep.
It's one of the Hall of Meat challenges. It's the ones where you're supposed to hurt yourself.
And others,
This
apparently.
one, I like to think that they copied the gameplay footage that we put up of Skate 2, of me flinging myself from a rooftop trying to land on pedestrians.
Yep.
And they decided, hey, you know what? Skate 3, let's make that into an actual
Looks like
challenge.
that guy's having a lot of fun.
It looks like that guy's enjoying himself. So let's check that out right here.
Now, this is not something you just skated up on. And
No, it's you can do that in the
Yeah.
world. They've got challenges all around that you can just skate up on and start wherever you want. But you can also pull up a menu and you instantly teleport to these locations in the game.
Nice.
So here we go. My goal right now is to knock down a commuter, not a computer. That's a different thing. Oh, what up, buddies? Oh,
no, I think you
quite.
just succeeded in horrifying like 7
Oh, yeah.
computers. But no, you got to take one out.
Oh. And once again, it gives you a display of which bones that you've broken.
You have busted. And now notice you're going into all sorts of positions here. You're going, that's like the skydiving pose.
Booyah! Knock that dude down.
You clipped him.
You like that one?
And then
I may have broken like 3 bones in the process, but
you
I
owned
knocked
him
it.
and
I
owned the
dude.
Hall of Meat challenge.
I own the dude. I own the challenge.
Now, when
it
you
was
were
pretty
loading this
long.
up, I noticed real quick it said you could choose to try owning it or try killing it.
Yeah. So owning it is like it's sort of like a difficulty
Okay.
difference. Owning it is just passing it the standard way. Killing it is you do like the extra challenge, like maybe it wants you to knock down 2 pedestrians at once or something like that. And the reward is that you earn boards, right? And the whole point of Skate 2 is that you're creating your own brand and you're trying to sell boards and like earn influence throughout the city. Right now, while we're on the subject of the Hall of Meat, I just want to share a video that I made. It'll just be a moment here.
So like in previous skate, you can capture and edit videos of sick tricks you do, or in your case, other items, other things.
That's something that dates back to the original Skate, just the ability to, it always tracks like the last, I think, 30 seconds of whatever you do in the game, and so you can always just pull that up and check out something awesome. I've got a video right here, and it's just gonna load real quickly.
Now, is this one you have uploaded to the internets?
Yeah, I've uploaded this, and they've really expanded the sharing system. Okay, Oop. Hold on. Let's make sure that we get this from the very beginning. All right, here we go. There's a dude just walking around.
Yeah.
Doo-doo-doo. Booyah! Oh, let's try that again. To really appreciate the effect of this video. Dude just walking around.
Not only does someone
God.
fall out of the sky, but is then plastered by a car. And the best part is, I was there when you made that video.
Yeah.
You were just trying to land on that guy.
I know. That's the beautiful part about the video editor. You can just try to be doing one thing, something else happens like totally dynamically, and it turns into like a really awesome video.
The car comes there and runs you over like right instantly as you hit the ground.
Exactly.
Now, do you were talking about boards earlier. Those are function as sort of like a currency or a progress meter in the game.
Yeah, exactly. The point of this game is that you want to You want to sell boards and you earn influence throughout the city. Like there you'll see like a real advertisement for Dr. Pepper.
Yep.
But you could also eventually see ads for your own fictional skateboard company pop up throughout the city.
Oh, neat.
Like I haven't quite played that far into the game yet, but you will see like ads for yourself or like photos that you've shot, like, you know, 5 missions ago that suddenly populate as like billboards throughout the city.
Cool.
And you recruit teammates. You can play it online or offline. I've done this offline.
And so do you see can you see teammate stuff as well? Does that stuff persist?
Yeah, like this is my logo right here. This is the dinosaur.
Nice.
And yeah, these are just posters that have popped around the city.
So people sort of like the guerrilla marketing.
Yeah, exactly. So like the big thing this year is that you form a company and then you slowly build up your influence, and you just try to pretty much take over the skateboarding world.
Excellent, Sean. Well, it's looking good, and you said coming out next week, right?
Coming out Tuesday on Xbox 360 and PS Triple.
Right around the corner. Sean, thanks for lending your skills and at braining yourself and also knowledge to this demo.
That's right.
Now on with the rest of the show.
Let's change shirts real quick.
Hope you enjoyed that Skate 3 demo from Alternate Costume, Sean and Chris. Up next, we got a preview for Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker for the PSP.
So for those of you who already played the demo for Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, you should already have an idea of what to expect in terms of the controls and the mission setup. There are 3 configurations to choose from, so you can decide whether you feel more comfortable with a control scheme similar to Metal Gear Solid 4, or something like Monster Hunter. Or if you like the controls from Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops, there's the option to pick that too. Peace Walker is a sequel to Snake Eater and Portable Ops, and takes place in Costa Rica, where Big Boss, or Snake, has agreed to look into a suspicious military organization that has been operating there. He was hesitant at first, but he can't seem to say no to the ladies as he agrees to help because of Paz, a teenager that has been captured and tortured by this group. The story is told through comic book style cutscenes with some QuickTime events that will pop up periodically. Snake is running a mercenary group called Militaires Sans Frontières, or Soldiers Without Borders. While you take on missions to advance the main story, you'll also have to manage your mother base and assign recruits to different parts of the base. Everyone has their own unique skill set, so you can either auto-assign them to the appropriate unit, or shuffle them around yourself. It's important to have enough members in the mess hall to keep the morale high. If your food percentage starts to dip, soldiers begin to underperform and may eventually defect. Research and development is also an important division to keep an eye on, because the more resources you put into it, the more design documents you'll get so you can start upgrading your weapons. This all costs money though, and eventually you'll unlock the option to send troops on outer ops missions, which allows you to pick a team and send them off to battle in the background, and they'll come back with money or even new recruits. All the missions can be replayed to recruit members for your team using the Fulton recovery system, where you tie a balloon to an unconscious enemy or prisoner, and they'll be picked up by a helicopter and shipped back to base. If you find some of the missions too hard, and they can be, you can just play them over and over again to level your weapons. There's a bit of everything in Peace Walker, so you can grind your way through the game like a role-playing game, or spend a good portion of your time strategically managing your base. Optional missions are available as well for practice or building up another character that isn't Snake. There are several multiplayer modes too, which support up to 6 players locally. All the missions except for the first can be played with a friend via ad hoc. Boss fights can also be tough, so you can bring up to 4 people to take these guys down. There's a lot that comes with Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker outside of the main story, so there's plenty of things to do to keep you busy for dozens of hours. It focuses heavily on the cooperative experience, so if you have a friend or two, you'll definitely want to have them come along. The game is currently set to be released on June 8th for the PSP. For more details on the game and its multiplayer and cooperative modes, be sure to read our full written preview at GameSpot.com.
So Sean, it's Tuesday, it's our first show of the week. I am told that this is something of a themed week. We've got something tying the shows together this week.
There is definitely a theme this week, and that theme is Fable.
Fable?
Yeah, that's right.
Nice.
The Saturday episode at the end of this week, we're going to have a big, awesome Fable 3 interview with Peter Molyneux. The Thursday episode, we've got an interview that's all about the combat in Fable 3. That's starring the lead designer of the game. But today, we're going to sort of set the foundation for that with a Fable 2 retrospective, because in order to understand what Fable 3 is all about, you got to understand, you know, how the team thought about Fable 2, the last game they were working on.
Post-mortem kind of thing.
A little post-mortem action, so let's kick it off to that with Peter Molyneux dissecting Fable 2.
It's pretty hard to look back at any work that you've done before, and you know there's always this feeling of regret. You start off with this grand vision, and you know, this time we're going to do it right, and this time we're going to work smart, and we're not going to over-promise and under-deliver and all of those things. And you know, when you're developing a game, and especially when you're developing such a big game as Fable, it's easy to make a lot of mistakes. And I look back at Fable 2, and firstly there's this one thing which is, when I learnt it, I just became incredibly sad, was that more than half the people who played Fable 2 actually used only about half the features of the game. So most people didn't change their costumes. They just when they were given a costume, they just changed into it. They didn't realize that that had an effect on the world and the simulation. The simulation itself, you know, because we didn't kind of expose it to players, it wasn't, you know, they didn't realize the consequences of going and slaughtering all the people in Oak Vale. They didn't realize the consequences of getting married to one person or another person. There was a huge number of these game mechanics that were all there and they're all working, but they were like little cogs in a machine that didn't do anything. And that, you know, that's just poor. That's just rubbish. On top of that, there's another huge portion of the game was the GUI, the 2D GUI. You know, collecting things in role-playing games are very important. It's a really core part of what role-playing games are. But whenever you collected something in Fable 2, it just went into a big list. And that was it. You didn't feel, hey, I've got that stuff. Hey, this stuff is important to me because of this reason or that reason. Hey, I can use this thing with that thing. It was all there, just if you were smart enough, or dedicated enough, you would find it. And that sounds poor. And yeah, it makes me frustrated, but in one way, but in another way, you know, I realise there's an opportunity to change it if you go on further with the franchise. So that was the bad stuff, quite a lot of bad stuff. The good stuff is I think the breadcrumb trail worked really well. I think it's exactly what we wanted it to be. It was both a corridor for players who want corridors, for players who don't want to feel lost. It was that corridor that allowed them to explore a little bit without the frustration of where the hell am I and what's going on next. I think it really worked well if you hadn't played Fable for a couple of days and you came back and thought, now where was I supposed to go? Oh, you just follow the breadcrumb trail. So that worked really well. I think the dog worked really well. I think people just emotionally a lot of people got connected with their dog. You know, a lot of people predicted, oh, I don't want a dog to follow me around, but actually, you know, they liked it. It was an emotional, you know, part of the game, and he was very charming. I think, you know, we could do things better for sure, but you know, that kind of worked well. I think some of the choices in the game were good. Some of the choices in the game were still a little bit on the cheesy side or bad. I think the drama and the story, a lot of the times in the story, we kind of relied on the fact of you being totally immersed and understanding what was going on, and characters. I think some of the cinematics needed, you know, a lot of improving. You know, so Fable 2 was a sort of this big pot of things, some of which were good, some of which were not so good. God, I can't begin to tell you what it's like to get reviews from in magazines and on websites, because it's kind of like getting a school report, but 100 million times more important. And you know, a lot of the reviews were just wonderful when they said, oh, I got to a point in the game and, you know, it really stayed with me, and the choices I made really felt emotional, and it was an emotional game. And you know, I loved the reviews when, you know, we just made people laugh and they felt involved in the game. So that was a fantastic feeling to get those, you know, that people got that. I took on board that some people said that there were some frustrations with things like co-op, being tied together. And you kind of read that review and you think, oh great, yeah, well when we go forward we'll definitely fix those things. I think that there were some very negative reviews which you kind of always take to heart. You pretend to be a brave soldier and say, oh well, they didn't play the game. But you realise that it's hard to make a game that everybody just thinks is great and wonderful. And I would have personally, there's a list of things that I would have marked Fable 2 down on. Probably the GUI, a lot of that stuff. I think some of the drama was a little bit sort of hidden away, to say it best. I think some of the characters were very wooden, and some of the events weren't significant enough. We didn't kind of layer in things right. I don't think the reviewers really picked up on that.
All right, you've seen these t-shirts sitting here all episode, and now it's time to give them away. Trivia time begins now. We got a Rage t-shirt, we got a Hunted t-shirt, we got a Brink t-shirt, and you've all by now met hugging and kissing the Bears of the New California Republic on a t-shirt. If you want to win these, you got to answer this question. What is the name of the town you wake up in Fallout New Vegas? Send us your answer using the module on the side of the page, or shoot us an email. onthespot@gamespot.com is the address, and good luck to you folks. And that's going to about do it for us. Now's the time where we talk about what's coming up later this week in the show, so you can get super excited. Sean already gave you a preview of one thing. It's Fable 3.
Whole lot of Fable 3 stuff. We got 2 more interviews coming your way this week.
That's this many.
Dose.
Also, May is Video Game History Month. The more you know. We've got a Video Game History Month feature, one of many coming up this month. That's later this week, as well as looking to the future with our starting to build some excitement for E3, because guess what? That's about a month away.
God, it is a month away.
Yes,
Crap.
Check your watch. It has a calendar on it. So for all that good stuff and more, keep it tuned here later this week, folks. In the meantime, I'm Chris Waters. For Sean McInnes and everyone here on the GameSpot staff, signing off, wishing you a great Tuesday evening, or Wednesday morning, as it is. All right, you've seen these t-shirts sitting here all episode. Now it's time to give them away. We got Rage. We got Hunted, the Demon's Forge. I want to do that for real. And that's about it, folks. We, as Sean teased earlier, we got the new Fable. We got that Fable hotness coming up later this month.
A whole lot of hotness.
Week. What am I?
I didn't realize you had started.
I know. It's casual. Jump start.